Hey everybody, it's Tony from Appalachian Dual Sport, and I'm sorry that was a little bit of an extreme close-up. Anyway, I'm here in Chattanooga area, and I'm at Honda dealership. It's a big dealership. It's Power Sports of Chattanooga, Southern Power Sports. There it is. You can see that. Anyway, they're doing their demo days today, and so I'm going to try to ride the 450L and the Africa Twin, and I'm going to report my my initial impressions. All right, got my helmet, getting ready to try the 450L first, and as usual, I don't have a mount for my camera on the helmet or anything because I'm always unprepared. So I'm just going to ride it. I'm sure there's tons of videos out there about riding footage, so I'm just going to videotape my impressions, and that's about it. Let you know what I thought. All right, see you in a bit. So I wanted to ride the automatic one, but now they just have this manual one. The automatic one's out on a ride, so give this one a go. This is a really big dealership. Probably the biggest one we have in Chattanooga. But it's super cool of them to allow us to do the demo rides. They got the service in the back. They got their parts and accessories. But so I'm just gonna walk over here and talk about my impressions. So the 450L, it seemed to have plenty of power, that's for sure. It did not like to be lugged. I don't think that's a bike that you can rock crawl on unless you're really abusing the clutch. Clutch was light and smooth. Yeah, of course these are brand new bikes, so you know, and it was a 10-minute ride, so these are my initial impressions. Suspension was okay. Didn't dive super hard under braking. Brakes were good, and rear was plenty powerful. Could lock it up no problem. Front was a good feel to it. The motor was smooth. I felt some vibration, and it seemed to like pop a little bit at low RPM. And again, I tried to lug the bike and crawl it, and unless you're really slipping the clutch and stuff, I wouldn't recommend that kind of use for the bike. Transmission shifted clean. Found neutral, no problem. Up, down, no problem shifting really at all. Can't really comment on the suspension or the off-road performance because I didn't take it off-road, so that's something that plenty of other people have talked about. Couldn't really feel much of the weight. I ride a 2008 TE 450, and I'd say they feel very similar. So otherwise, you know, it was a decent bike. It was quiet, ran good. I did feel like it might flame out on me at a couple times when I just chopped the throttle and pulled in the clutch real quick. Almost felt like it might flame out, but it didn't. So it just seemed like it would. But anyway, that's that. So then onto the Africa Twin. That bike is big. It's heavy. I'm not used to riding a big, heavy bike like that. I can really feel the weight trying to flick it around. That was another thing about the 450. Much easier to flick around, obviously. But on the Africa Twin, it was heavy, and I felt it. And it just felt like you could really feel the gyroscopic forces in the engine when you tried to change direction. I mean, it was smooth, and it felt, you know, very, very secure. Suspension was a little divey. I felt when under heavy braking, and there were a couple times when I was riding over railroad tracks and I tried to loft the front end, which I was able to do no problem. Great power, by the way, great power. Very smooth. the traction control kicked in, and it was like a little light flashes on the dash, and it says T for traction, and it was like it would retard. It almost felt like it was just retarding the motor. I don't know if it was applying the brakes or how the traction control works, but very, very strange feeling. ABS, same thing. I tried to lock up the rear brake, and you could feel the pedal modulating, and it worked. I didn't try the same thing with the front end, but anyway, brakes were good. Front end a little divey. Lugging it was easy to do. I tried to get it as slow as I could possibly go, maybe 4 or 5 miles an hour, trying to crawl it along. I felt I couldn't really go any lower than that without stalling the bike or abusing the clutch. So but it was easy. Like when you rolled the throttle on, it was smooth, which was a difference from the 450, the L. When I tried to roll the throttle on at low speed, it was very jerky. Same thing I experienced with the SWM Super Dual. So very jerky throttle response at low RPM, almost like an off-on switch. But with the Africa Twin, you could just kind of feather in that throttle, and it worked just fine. Or of course you could feather in your clutch, and that would work fine too. And that's probably what you have to do with the CRF450L, is feather that clutch to keep that jerkiness at bay. But I almost feel like you could crawl way better with the Africa Twin than you could with the 450L. However, the 450L weighs a crap ton, and it's not really the kind of riding I don't think I'd want to do with it. I personally wouldn't want to ride that bike off-road, other than gravel roads and 2-track maybe. But anyway, it was comfortable, it was smooth, looked good, good power, and enjoyed riding it. And I really appreciate these guys for letting us ride their demo bikes. And that's pretty much all I got. I don't think I'll be riding anything else. I got a couple other bikes, but nothing really that interests me. The monkeys are cute, but not really something I'd ever ride or buy. All right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed. This is why I wish I had a camera on my bike or on my helmet so I could record while I ride, because I keep forgetting stuff. But the windscreen on the Africa Twin, it did a pretty decent job of keeping the wind right off the center of your chest, maybe up to about your neck and your shoulder area. But I could feel it on my shoulders and on my helmet. I didn't obviously try to adjust anything, so I don't know if you can raise it up. But I got the bike up to about 78, I want to say. And it was super smooth, not a lot of vibration. But there was buffeting on my helmet and on my shoulder area. Shoulder area and on up. I could really hear the wind rolling over the top of my helmet. Of course, I'm wearing a dual sport style helmet with a bill on it, so that might have been a factor. But anyway, windshield was adequate. Vibrations were very low, very smooth. I think you could probably cruise on this thing at 80 all day long. So, and you'd be at triple digits in no time on this bike. So, with the 450L, I did notice vibrations. It was kind of a little vibraty. It's funny how similar it is to my my Husqvarna. So, because my Husqvarna does vibrate some. So anyway, that's just what I wanted to add.